Hello, hello. Hi, good evening. Who do we have watching today? This is Anna Stropnik coming to you live from Fort Lauderdale. It's a little bit late here in the Eastern Zone. It's like 10, almost 11 o'clock here. I don't know where you're watching this from. Type in where you're watching this from. I would love to give you, I would love to say hi and see where we have our viewers from. That would be awesome. So today my question for you is, would you like to know, would you like to work from home and create an income that will set you free? So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about what's a virtual franchise and all of those great things. And if this is the first time you're ever watching any of my live videos, my name is Anna Stropnik and I help people create side stream of income working from home, and I also help them reach their time and financial freedom. So hopefully you will find the value in this. And I want to start with my story. So how I got to do what I'm doing right now, and how I fell in love with this profession. So when I was, this was like a little bit more than 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago, I was pregnant with our son. And before that, for 22 years, I worked in the spa industry as an esthetician, massage therapist, manager. Like I worked on cruise ships, I worked in land-based spas, I had my own business twice. So that was pretty much like my career, my whole life. But what changed when I got pregnant, I was like all of a sudden thinking how my work schedule, at the moment I was working at the Bliss Spa here in Fort Lauderdale, it's just not going to work with our new family now. So I don't know if you can imagine, but if you actually work like every single day a year, you work nights and holidays and weekends, so all of that was just like, I knew when my son had to start going to school, there was absolutely no way I will be able to keep my schedule. And my husband, he works away, he works on yachts, so he travels a lot, and I just needed to find something. Basically, like how my research was back then, like 4 years ago. And if you watched I think it was the one yesterday, my live yesterday, I was just, maybe it was the day before, where I was talking how you're basically projecting everything in your life. So like what I do, everything that I wanted back then, I projected into my life now. So let me explain. I was looking for ways to change my career. I was like turning 40, I'm like, it's perfect time, you know, I've been doing this for 20 years, I can do 20 years of something else, right? So I was looking into different options where I can work from home. And that was like something that was my goal, because that way, like I would just have the most time with my son, and when my husband is traveling, I would be the one that is always there and always available. So I started looking into things, but what I really found, like every time I would Google something, I was really afraid of like scams. You know, I think everybody is like, oh, you know, you'll make, every time I would hear like, oh, you'll make so much money, you just know it's a scam, right? So I was very cautious about everything that I found online. So you either make like a misery of money, or you make or they promise you, like, you know, you're gonna make so much, and nothing like really seemed real. Like most people in that situation would agree, you're looking for something that is going to, yes, you can work from home, but you're also looking for security. When I worked in the spa industry, I was always working on commissions and tips and like no salary pretty much. So like all of my income was always dependent on like how much I worked. So I never really in my life until like now had hourly job or a salary. I never had a salary job in my life. So So that was like, but I was looking for something that is going to be like a steady income. So what I found was like a little flyer, like a postcard flyer. I used to get when I was pregnant. I used to get those baby magazines like all the time. So one like came out and it was like, oh, you know, like medical billing, earn 40,000 a year working from home. And I'm like, that's interesting. So I spoke to my friend who is in this profession. She's a medical coder. So I'm like, oh, you know, what do you think about that? She was like, well, I do coding. I never really knew what she does, but she works from home. I'm like, oh, you know, maybe I should do this. So for me, instead of, you know, like doing something that was really risky for me, I decided to take that long path of going to school. So I signed up for an online school. I got all my certificates. I first completed billing. Then after a few years, I started doing coding as well. Like I went to school, and then I realized after like the whole course was finished, it was going to be very hard for me to find a job in this profession if I don't have a certificate. So I went and got certified as well, got the license, and then I started looking for jobs. So all of that time, it was like 3 years altogether. My son was already born, and you know, all that good stuff. And then I actually like changed my career and I started working. So it was not until like almost a year that I was able to work from home. So I basically didn't know anything about network marketing back then, and when I was doing my research, and even if I did, it would probably not be an option for me back then, because like I said, I was looking for something that is more like I thought more secured, right? But then when I actually finally got what I wanted, right? I'm working from home. I'm making like about 40,000 a year, and then I realized, you know, it's like a little tight. It's actually almost like a pay cut. You know, it's like I get paid hourly now. I'm not making like commission. If I need extra money, I can just pick up shifts and I can work extra. Or like work in season, work nights, holidays, and all of that. So that was one problem, and the other one was like just our lives and lives changed. Like we had like the same expenses, the same house, the same car bills, and all of that, and a baby, but we were like making less money. Less money was coming in, so it was a real struggle. So I was like trying to find work, you know, like picking up extra shifts at the spa, working like nights, you know, I would like pick up like records that I could code at night and things like that. And then end of last year, my really great friend she was my boss before, from the UK, from London, she actually introduced me into this industry, and she asked me basically if I was looking to make like an extra side income, and I was like, you know, what is it and all of that. But I was definitely interested, even though I stretched myself so much, where I was like having my you know, like day job, then I had my like part-time like on-call spa job, and plus nights where I was picking up, but I literally couldn't trade any more time for money. I just had no extra time, and I had no interest to be more away from my family to make just a little bit more extra. But when she showed me this, because basically she's in London, I'm here in Florida, how this business is actual virtual franchise. Like she did my launch. I launched my business online. I had people watch the presentation. I was here in my living room in my PJs. People were like logging in on Zoom call, like basically on a video camera, and she was tuning in from London. I mean, it's amazing like what the technology can do nowadays. So I'm like, oh, you know, so this is not like, you know, having like home parties, going to people's houses and all of that. You can do it that way, but you don't have to. Like the technology has evolved, and this business, oh my god, it's like I never really knew. I just had like a wrong impression about it, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. This is like something that I was really looking for all along. So basically, what got me really excited then is I watched one video on basically like what's possible in this industry, and what was always my biggest like kind of I don't know what word to use, like resentment, I guess. When I was working, I was always like told my worth, you're worth this much, you're worth this much, no matter what you do, people will tell you what you're worth, and they have no shame to do that. And I know what I'm worth, and nobody can put a price on my head, you're worth this much a year, you're worth this much an hour. And that's what when I learned that you can actually have a possibility of unlimited income, I knew my capability and my work ethics and my determination and focus and all of that, and I knew I could create great things if I have no limitations. So how many of you, like being told what you're worth, and basically like have a price tag telling you this is how much you're worth, and you like have no college education, or you have no this or that, and this is how much you can make maximum per year? I mean, most of the people, like if you have like a regular job, and you put up with so much, and it's not your fault, it's not your boss's fault, it's just the way our education system works, and it's just the way we are programmed. All of our programming is like that, you finish school, you go to college, you find a job, and that's how it works, Every time you like want to start your own business, no matter what it is, people just think you're crazy. So, and especially if it's network marketing, right? So just people, and that's the way we are told. And but for me, that was my biggest thing, was when I saw the potential, when I saw the possibility. I'm not saying that like it's not going to like not for 100% of people are gonna make it to like make whatever $1 million a year. It's not gonna happen. But if you are really focused, and if you really believe in yourself, and if you're hardworking and sacrifice a lot, I must say, you need to sacrifice some years, probably like 3 to 5 years to get, like if you have like huge goals, you need to do that in order to get there. So it's definitely a sacrifice. So let me think where I was. Yeah, so it's basically like if you're a single mom, if you're a working mom, like I'm sure you can relate, or even if you're just if you don't have a family, but you're just working for like the paycheck, and you just like can't handle the stress of that anymore, and you're worth more, then this would be like a career to look at. I'm not saying this is for everyone, but I'm just happy that I found it for me, and it's definitely something that I was looking for me. So what else is possible? So it's possible to work from home, to work from your cell phone, to run a business globally, because with now technology you can like run, and like people can watch you anywhere. I have a team now in Australia and the UK and Canada and the US. How amazing is that? And I mean, it's unthinkable. It's great. And like, so I wake up in the morning and literally my account is like fatter because somebody sold something in Australia. I mean, what? When does that ever happen, when you don't have to actually put in the work to make money? So what else is possible? You can eventually retire from your day job. You can retire your spouse. Can you imagine all of that freedom? Retire early, retire in your 40s instead of in your 60s. And just have all that time for your family. Who wants to work like 40 years and then that's majority of your life really you're working, or even more, because now people can't even take, and that retirement is not even guaranteed. So and then you can travel and do the things that other people can only dream of. It's all possible. So another thing that I love about this industry is you actually can make impact on other people's lives, because working for yourself, you're only making impact on you, but you're actually this way you're making impact on thousands and thousands and thousands of other people, and you have the ability to change their lives too. And yeah, the income potential that is unlimited, that is definitely something that I'm really excited about. Some people do this as a side business to make just a couple of $100s a month, and that's great. If you're looking to make a side stream of income just to cover for your manicures, pedicures, and hair, and you love your job and that's all you want to do, it's great. For me, it's more of a freedom, but the best thing about it is either way you can do it. So my advice is when you are looking for that opportunity, there's a few things that you need to look at. Is something that you are doing, if you want to create that seven-figure income, if this is you, would you go and join a company that has tons of competition? It's very unlikely that you will succeed. It's also how long has that company been on the market? I'm not saying if a company has been on the market for 30, 40 years, it's going to be much harder for you to get to the top, because it's all taken, it's already saturated, everyone has heard of it already. So why not find something that is unique, that you have no competition? And that's what I have. I'm so lucky because I talk to so many people who have been in these companies, and they have changed 4, 5, 10, 11 different companies until they found home that they resonate with. But what if you find that first company that is something that is unique, that nobody else has, and that it's growing so fast, that has the greatest leadership, and it's gonna take you to the top if you follow the system. So that's just my opinion, and I've heard many people who have been successful in this industry for many years say how important it is to find the right one for you. So basically, if you're watching this and you need inspiration, if you want to change your life, if you're, like I said, if you're looking for something that is going to create a side stream of income for you, maybe a couple of $100 or a couple of $1,000 a month extra, contact me. I would love to chat. Or if you are like me and you would like to create that freedom, really run for it, I would love to chat with you too, because I'm always looking for partners who are ready to take on this run and just get to the top. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this inspired you, and I will see you soon. Good night.